Alright guys, I just want to let you know there is not going to be a depression in China, at least not for long. This is a head fake by the elite in order to make people think not to invest in China. They don't want people investing in China. It's so obvious that China has already put the groundwork for them to be the next superpower. There's always going to be a superpower. China and Russia are laying the foundation. China especially is going to be leading the way. You can see it by all these cities that people say that are cities where nobody wants to live, and these are just empty apartment buildings. It's because there's going to be a severe wealth transfer that's going to occur from the west to the east, and it's going to bring up the lifestyles of people that are living out in farming communities. These people are going to need a place to live. And it's going to be a great time for the Chinese. And what they're doing, the elite are doing before our system is going to collapse, I say sometime in September, October of this year, there's going to be some kind of a collapse. And I'm going according to Jonathan Cahn's Shemitah. Every 7 years to the day, the Kabbalists running this country collapse the system in some form or fashion. And so what they want to do is they want to keep eyes away from China. China is going to benefit to a great degree from what's going to happen. As soon as the American market collapses, everybody's going to be flushing capital towards the east. That's just the way it's going to be. Everybody's been flushing capital towards the west for the last 100 years. We're in a new age. The end of Pisces, the start of Aquarius. Now, am I into all these, ages and stars? No, but the elite are. The Kabbalists that run this country are into this stuff. But the age of Aquarius is the age of where everything will mesh together. Everything will come together. And of course, in different ways. You see that a lot of countries are becoming melting pots. This is by design, not by accident. You see how a lot of countries, America is not the only country around the world that has a problem with their borders, where the politicians are allowing an influx of whoever to come across the border, driving down wages and all that bad stuff. So we're in the age of the Aquarius. You look at also the whole Bruce Jenner thing right there. The guy was Mr. Olympian. The men of all men, he's transforming into a woman. It's when there's no distinction, the age of Aquarius, no distinction between male or female. Everything is the same. No distinction. And that's the error that they're trying to create. But anyways, China, I believe, all the writing, they've done everything in their power to become a superpower. Everything is in their direction for them to become a superpower. They have all the manufacturing. They have all the gold and precious metals. There's no way that they cannot be a superpower. They're hoarding precious metals to... Some people say they have, 30,000 tons or 10,000 tons of gold? America's supposed to, I think, have 10,000 tons, which is not true. But China, I believe, this is what I call it a head fake, where they have you thinking one thing and then something else happens. It just turns around and something else. If they're telling you China's in depression, you better be investing in China. If they're telling you Russia's in depression, and which these are the two countries that America is trying to take Russia out by decreasing oil prices, by using Saudi Arabia to lower oil prices. And they're trying to tell us that China is faltering and going into depression. See, they're trying to get you. You have to understand that a lot of information that's out there, it's mostly disinfo information, and they don't want you doing what they're doing. They want everybody piled on the same side of the boat. If I were you, I would look at the opportunities in China. They are going to be the next superpower. They are not going to go through no big depression. Not when you have all that manufacturing around the world. Not when I still see all the products that I pull and look at the tag and I see the China on it. There's not going to be a depression. All those cities that are empty, they're going to be filled up. I guarantee you. People are going to be wanting to buy real estate in China. But this is a head fake before the big one, the big daddy of collapse. America is, like it's stated in the Bible, the Whore of Babylon. If you don't know what I'm talking about, research the Whore of Babylon. All nations, once America or the Whore of Babylon went down, a Whore of Babylon is an allegory for the nation, the nation that all nations traded with. It went down. All the nations around it wept because they could no longer trade with that nation. So that's it. That's my skinny on China. China is not going to go through a depression. If it is, it's going to be for such a short period of time. That's the skinny on that, guys. You better wake up. Wake up. You can't believe all the information out there. You got to do your own research. Have common sense. Peace out.
Peter, what are your thoughts on China? We recently got a lot of data that showed us what we all kind of knew, and that being that growth is slowing there. So what impact will slower growth in China have on the global economy?
Well, I think that China ultimately is being held back by its own monetary policy, which is designed to prop up the value of the U.S. dollar and to suppress the value of its own currency. And that creates distortions and bubbles within the Chinese economy. But, beneath the surface, I think, beats the heart of a very vibrant economy that has been unleashed ever since they started rolling back all the big government programs of the communist days. And so there is a vibrant economy trapped beneath this bad monetary policy that ultimately, I believe, is going to come to an end. I mean, we'll see. The Chinese have been quietly accumulating gold. We don't know how much they have. They haven't been accumulating dollars as rapidly as they once were. They're still holding on to a huge stockpile. But I think they figured out that that they've made mistakes with respect to the peg, and they're looking for a way to basically restore their currency to one that is no longer tied to the U.S. dollar. And I think when they do that, the currency is going to rise rather substantially, and I think the purchasing power of average Chinese citizens is going to rise dramatically, and they're no longer going to have to be exporting so much to the United States. They will be consuming a lot of what they produce themselves. Meanwhile, over the years, China is trading with a lot more nations. China is now a larger trading partner with more nations than the United States. And so China is certainly rising in importance, and it's dominating global trade, and it will be even more significant once they fully depeg their currency from the dollar and allow their currency to rise and the dollar to sink.